he may have actually spent very little time enjoying the sights and sounds of New York. Maybe spent a lot of time actually just walking or biking an escape route and looking at timetables and seeing and timing it. How long would it take if I just standing right there at near the Hilton, say, how long would it take for me to get to Central Park or me to get to the Port Authority bus terminal, the one on 42nd Street, which is really close by, or the one way up by the George Washington Bridge? What's the advantage and disadvantage of either one? He may have spent an awful lot of time doing that. He probably did not socialize with anybody whatsoever at all. He probably stayed very close to that place. He didn't wander anywhere. He probably didn't go up to Little Italy in the Bronx, the Belmont section. He probably didn't go down to Chinatown and enjoy himself. No, he probably sat there. He probably barely talked to anybody. Probably stayed very, very, very close by. And I think he just practiced. That to me, I think it's sort of like just a constant repetitive thing until he got it into his mind what he was going to do, and he could do it completely from muscle memory, because how he escaped was, I'm going to say, brilliant. The way he escaped, he timed it perfectly.
Absolutely. From the chat, Rough and Rougher read his manifest. It's horrible what he and his mother went through with United Healthcare. Heard it last night on podcast HTC with Lauren. You know something though? His family's wealthy. They don't need, yeah, of course you don't want to have to pay for your own health care, but they could afford to. It's not like if she didn't get the health care company paying for it, that she would go without it. They're multi-millionaires. So I'm not sure if I buy that story. Phil.
Yeah, I don't think that that's the one driving force in this case. And Dr. Joni, you brought up the point about him not being able, let's say, to be intimate with a woman. But yet, when that girl and the hostel flirted with him, he was quick to pull his mask down and present the big smile. So there's probably something to that. He may have been looking for that little bit of a connection with a woman, and he hadn't had it in a long time. So, I mean, that was actually very important in the investigation, because we got a clear view of his face. Bill, I'm going to agree with you on, I don't see the financial problem in his family with, providing healthcare for his mom or for himself. So, they seem to be wealthy enough to have handled that. But again, over the years, all the maybe complaints about it, and then this talk that he had with that Hawaiian roommate, or the roommate in Hawaii, about how the country was going in the wrong direction. And they got into a conspiracy about, it started in the 60s and the track of the country needs to be changed. So all of those elements together may have led to the profile of what he carried out.
I actually listened to Hidden True Crime, which is what our guest is talking about. And they were talking about this manifesto, which has yet to be verified, as you were saying. So if we assume for a minute, just for the sake of our discussion, that this is true. Okay, let's assume that this is the manifesto just for a minute. We don't know that it is. From his perspective, and again, that's what matters in this situation, trying to understand that. From his perspective, it's not so much, it sounds like, that it was the financial part of it. I think the financial part of it symbolized something for him. But what this manifesto, if it's accurate and actually was true, it focuses on the fact that his mom is dismissed several times by healthcare as being, it's in your head, or she's given aspirin, which then she develops kind of ulcers and she has to switch to this. It's really about mistreatment. And that's really, I think, what his beef is. And yes, there's all this stuff in there about her claims being denied. But the overarching theme is the healthcare industry screwed me over, screwed my mom over. Not only did they not pay for it, they didn't treat her well. They minimized it. It's all in your head. It's not, she went for this procedure. It wouldn't have worked. They told her she needed $100,000 surgery. Well, if she'd gotten it, it wouldn't have worked, because the next test found that it wasn't this. I mean, it was really about this theme of mistreatment or perceived mistreatment.
Dr. Joni, I think we can all agree that the way healthcare is dispersed in this country is a disgrace. And if I have any left-wing or socialist ideas, I think every single person in this country should have health insurance. I really believe that. and whether they get it from their job. And if they can't afford it, then the country, I mean, look, we pay for things in this country that, we pay for foreign wars, but we can't pay for healthcare for our own citizens. I think that's disgraceful. I really do. And I know we come across logical cops, but I think that, that is a reason to get mad. That is a reason to get annoyed, but it's not a reason to shoot someone in the back.
Absolutely. Billy, how about the fact that maybe he thinks in his mind, well, if they could do this to my family that has the means, how about the people that don't have the means? And maybe he started to follow stories online of people that don't have a lot of money and are turned down for healthcare. And I heard stories about little children with cancer were turned down treatment. And when you hear those kind of stories, that really tugs at your heartstrings. And then maybe people that didn't have money and a loved one dies. So that could play into it. If they could do this to me and my family that's very wealthy and we own nursing homes, imagine what they could do to someone that's underprivileged or a child that's in need of cancer treatment. So all of those things could be the triggers, and they just built and built and built. And he followed through with the anger and the plot to kill Brian Thompson.
But why did he, and this is directed to you, Dr. Joni, become the spokesperson for the entire world, where I'm gonna kill somebody?
Okay.